Welcome back to the Sovereign Ratio. With the Cosmos ecosystem really kicking off with the likes of Injective Protocol and several airdrops in Osmosis and Kujira and many other projects that are doing very well. Today I want to explore one that I recently came across based off of a recommendation from another trader called Kava. I've seen it around before, but I've never done research. So today we're going to dig in, look at Kava, see if it's a good token for the next bull cycle, and if it is, where could it end up? If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave me a comment below. Right off the bat, there's some statistics that Kava really wants us to know about right here on the bottom. Apparently there are 100 active validators, 2.5 billion in bridged assets, 625 million in on-chain assets, average hash fee of 0.001, staked Kava is at 120 million. Also, we can see here on Kava.io that they have 200,000 Twitter followers, 9,400 Discord members, 21,000 Telegram members, 400 GitHub stars, 2,300 Reddit members, and 4,000 YouTube subscribers. The one that stands out to me there is the 200,000 Twitter followers and also the 9,400 members in Discord. This is a layer 1 solution. Layer 1 solutions generally do have a larger following, some more esoteric projects because people are more familiar with layer 1 solutions. 200,000 though, I would say is pretty strong for a project that is still around 80 on the market cap rank. In order to get a feel for what Kava is and the goals of the project, we have to dig into the developer docs. It's not directly stated on the front of the website like most projects are, but here it says the intro to the Kava network. The Kava network is the first layer 1 blockchain to combine the speed and scalability of the Cosmos SDK with the developer support of Ethereum. The Kava network will empower developers to build for Web3 and next-gen blockchain technologies. Through its unique co-chain architecture, Kava is the native governance and staking token of the Kava network, enabling its decentralization and security. The project states it has seamless interoperability with Ethereum, empowering developers to build on whichever environment they choose, optimize scalability, rapid ecosystem growth, and the token offers security, governance, and incentives, which most tokens do. To dig a little bit further into that, the security portion, the top 100 nodes validate blocks by a weighted bonded stake in Kava tokens. Economic incentives for validators come in the form of earning Kava as block rewards, so it's a proof of stake network. Governance is Kava token is used for proposals and voting on critical parameters of the Kava network. Again, if you stake it, you can vote on the governance protocol. Incentives, a portion of Kava emissions is distributed as incentives for scaling the network. The incentives go directly to top projects on each chain to drive growth, encourage competition, and improve the health of the Kava ecosystem. So for me, when I read this, I see standard proof of stake layer 1. I haven't heard anything groundbreaking here. But what I do hear is that it's interoperable with Ethereum and it's on Cosmos. Cosmos is a hot narrative right now. Interoperability with Ethereum opens a lot of doors, so I'm a little bit interested. What does excite me a little bit is the TA on this token, which we will look at momentarily. But for now, here on CoinGecko, we can see that Kava has a circulating supply of 1,051,000,000 tokens, with a total supply of 1,051,000,000 tokens, which is a good thing to see. Market cap sitting at 881 million, fully diluted valuation sitting at 881 million. So there's really not too much to complain about as far as tokenomics are concerned. Actually, because that's so good, I'm going to go ahead and check another platform and see if we get the same result. So I'm here on Coin Market Cap and I'm getting a very similar result showing Kava at rank 78 with basically the same circulating supply and fully diluted market cap. It looks a little too good to be true. I'm not sure if these numbers are correct or not, but I haven't seen tokenomics that look this good in quite a while. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, I'm a little skeptical of these numbers, but let's look at some TA because on the weekly chart, it does look pretty juicy for a bull run because it's so far off of its all-time high and still hasn't really caught a bid in this bear market. So for me, from a TA perspective, this is an interesting chart. One, because the previous bull run high was over $9 and currently it's dropped all the way down to 52 cents, currently sitting at 83 cents. So you can see throughout this bear market, other than a surge up to $1.53, Kava really hasn't done too much. And in this recent string of movements out of the market, it has not really caught a major bid or anything. So I find this very interesting. Just right off the cuff, I'm just looking at this as I'm making the video. I see some possible trend lines here. If we just kind of mark that, try to get the bottom of these candles and then try to fit it in here a little bit. You've got something like this. which if we zoom in on it, you can see that Kava actually broke through this trend line and kind of looks like it tried to bounce off of it. It is sitting here also at the bull market support band. So this one, to me, if it caught a bid, it's got a really nice size move in it. You know, just back up to the top of this movement here where it first had a big drop back in October of 2022. That is a 67% move up to that point. And then even back up here, which is not out of the ordinary for a move like this in a bear market relief rally, would be something like 180%. I'm really not sure why this token hasn't moved yet, but based on the TA perspective, one, long term, there's a lot of gain potential here because just from current valuation back to all-time high is almost a 10x. And then if we do our standard thing on this channel, we run a Fibonacci extension from the top down to the recent low, the 1618 sits at just at $15 and the 2618 sits at $23. So the 2618 seems like a stretch because it's so far off of its all-time high at this point. But if we use the 1618, which is usually a really good place to look, from current valuation, that is a 16x, and I don't see that as being extremely out of the ordinary for a token like this, especially ranked 79 in a bull run. My question is why has it not started to move yet? Because Cosmos has started to move and this one really hasn't. If we look at some TA on indicators, you can see that the weekly chart, this entire stochastic movement from bottom to top really did not yield too much result. I mean, I'm sure it's a good gain. It's probably like 60, 70. Yeah, it's right around 60% from here to here. But other tokens have done significantly more than that. Also, the regular stochastic has been kind of floating up here at the top, which is a bullish thing. But once it crosses down 80, could make another move down. So I'm not really sure. I think if I were to make a safe bet on Kava, I would just pick it up right here at this last pivot low around 56 cents. But if Bitcoin were to have a major correction like it's overdue for, you could see this token drop another 30, 40%, which, 40% drop from here is right around 50 cents. And that would be totally in line with what I just said. And it also puts it right here at the bottom of this low in 2022 as well. On the daily chart here though, zooming in, I do see a potential head and shoulders forming. So that's something to watch out for because we have this here and then it would just take one more shoulder and then a down movement to take care of that. The neckline looks like a pretty steep one right now from this pivot high right here all the way through. Just looking at this off the top of my head, that's kind of what I'm seeing is that right there. So that would be your neckline from the top down to the neckline and then dropping that right there. That would put us in line with 59.60 cents, which is again somewhere between 50 and 60 cents. I think is a good buy point on Kava, but who knows? It's sitting right on top of the bull market support band right now, so it could make a move up, especially if Bitcoin and Ethereum start catching an even bigger bid than they have. Bitcoin shoots up to 48K, Ethereum shoots up to 25 and beyond. You could see Kava easily start to make that move that I mentioned earlier up to the $1.50 area. Would not be out of the question. If we actually go back to the weekly chart and we do a different kind of Fibonacci here, we just take a swing low, a swing high. You can see that the 618 sits at 357, the 786 sits at 238, and the 818 sits at $2.10. So this token has really done nothing, which I would say that it's definitely overdue for a movement if it's going to have some sort of bear market relief rally here before the halving. Even just the 818 at $2.10 and the 786 at $2.38. That's quite a ways to go from here. And most tokens generally like hit their 818 at least. That's 151% from here. I don't know, just speculation, but I can tell you if it catches a bid in the bull market, it's got quite a bit of movement ahead of it again with the first stop in a major run up at that $15 area. Well, actually the first stop here at all-time highs around $9, but then the 1618 here at $15. As I'm making this video right now, you can see that Ethereum is starting to make a move up back to the 2400 area. And if it breaks that 2400 area, I'm definitely anticipating a run in especially Ethereum altcoins, if not the entire altcoin market, at least temporarily, until we see something happen with the ETF. But hopefully you learned something about Kava today. I'm still a little unsure on it, but I do think it's worth maybe a little 0.5% to 1% bet of your portfolio, especially if it makes that catch, if it catches a bit up to $15. So if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave me a comment below, drop me your information, whatever you think about Kava down in the comments. I'm curious to know what you think about Kava. Let me know what you think about Cosmos, and we will see you in the next video. Safe trading.